Hello, historians. Today we're going to talk about worldview. Worldview is a concept that can help us as historians and inform us as human beings. I would like you to put this presentation on pause and watch the video that I have linked with this assignment. So you watch this video, I'm asking myself questions. Why? Why is this important? What does this mean? If we start with a behavior and ask why questions, we sometimes can identify our core beliefs. Asking ourselves questions about behavior is a good way to identify what underlies our actions. I would like you to open up the worldview assignment and complete part 1. Part 1 asks you to ask yourself why questions about something you have done recently in life. I'm going to ask you to identify something you did this week that was important to you, and then why you did this. And then continue asking yourself why questions until you can get to a statement about what you believe. I'd like you to put this video on pause and do that first part of the assignment. I hope you were able to identify some beliefs that underlie your behavior. Now I'd like you to take out a blank piece of paper and draw a large circle. I'd like you to label that circle behaviors. Our behaviors are what we can see, what is most evident about us. It's also what we can see in the world around us. I'd like you to draw a second circle within that circle. Label this circle values. Our behaviors are based on our values. Now, as teenagers, your decision-making part of the brain, that's mainly in the prefrontal cortex of your brain, the part that's just behind your forehead, that part of your brain is still forming. What does that mean? Well, it means sometimes you behave in ways that maybe do not reflect your values. Don't despair. That's part of growing up. That's part of what we call maturity. So sometimes if your friends do something that don't reflect what they say their values are, maybe it's because that part of the brain is still being formed in them. Draw another circle, please. Underlying our values are beliefs, basic concepts of the world around us. We usually can't identify these very quickly. Now, draw a final circle in the middle and shade that circle in. This circle represents our core beliefs, the most fundamental beliefs we have about ourselves and the world around us. These core beliefs are what we call our worldview. Please write this definition there. Worldview is the set of our core beliefs about ourselves and all that surrounds us. Then I'd like you to write these 4 components of worldview. We might call them 4 domains of our core beliefs. You may do this on a separate page or on the same page. The 4 domains are reality, man or humankind, truth, and values. What do those mean? Let's define them. Please write these definitions down. Reality. Reality is what exists. Humanity. What are our essential qualities? How did we come to exist? What is our purpose? Truth. How can we know anything? Can we know? Values. How do we understand the concepts of right and wrong, good and bad? I'll leave this screen up there for a moment and pause this video so you can write these down. Reality, humanity, truth, and values. These are the 4 domains or components of our worldview. Our beliefs about these 4 domains are our core beliefs. So why is this important? Well, worldview helps us to understand ourselves and others. It helps us to understand why other people may behave differently than we do, why they may think differently than we do. It helps us to understand our own behavior. And as historians, it helps us to understand other cultures in times very different than ours. People that may have some similar worldviews, or that may have very different worldviews. I'd like you to go back to the worldview writing assignment. Part 2 asks you to identify your worldviews in reality, humanity, truth, and values. I have provided you a chart with 5 possible worldviews. I would like you to identify which worldview you most clearly identify with in your life for each of these 4 domains. So you will pick one domain in each column. For example, in reality, you will read Worldview A, Worldview B, Worldview C, Worldview D, and Worldview E. And then you will select which one most clearly reflects your worldview. Below that, you will define one behavior or action in your life that shows you believe this. If you can't find some action in your life, then you don't believe it. Okay. Once you finish that, you're going to choose 2 of these to write about. And the directions for writing are right below that. Worldview is a concept that can help you understand yourself and the world around you. It's one of the most important concepts we're going to look at this year. So please treat this seriously and invest yourself in this work.